Hey man, what it is? This is Deem, and I am your host, and this is By Any Means. There go to Cash App, $ Deem by any means. There go to PayPal at Deem by any means. Y'all already know what I'm about to say. I don't care if you leave $3, $30, $300. Is much appreciated. I want to say, man, shout out to my guy, manager Marty, man. I normally don't do this, but I feel as though I had to make this video and our oldest man for all the education that he done gave a brother and everything that he doing for the boxing community. Because something that this man has been talking about for the last year and a half got the whole boxing community on fire right now. Y'all owe manager Marty an apology. How can we trust VADA and WADA when Victor Conte is directly involved? But y'all want Ryan Garcia banned for life and not Victor Conte? Let's talk about it, y'all. I just want to say, man, the reason why I'm doing this because people like Manager Marty, Boozy Ennis, Jerron Ennis, Greg Hackett, YSM Sports Media, Stephen Fulton Jr. These are all people that I truly value and appreciate because at the end of the day, man, they being real role models and how they carry themselves and just the things that they doing for my city that's devastated by violence and everything that's the opposite of what they trying to accomplish. Manager Marty has been sitting up there talking about testing and PEDs and all of these things that have been involved when it comes to the sport of boxing for the last year and a half. Y'all disrespected that man. Y'all degraded that man. Y'all made videos about that man just for a little bit while later for it to be the number one talked about thing in the boxing community right now. And the part that I don't get is how are y'all okay with Victor Conte being directly associated with VADA and WADA, but think that that's not a conflict of interest. Even me, I was one of the first people out there with Manager Marty, and I was like, Manager Marty, I don't care what's going on as far as Terrence Crawford and Bud. That was before I even knew how close associated Victor Conte even was with VADA and WADA. At the end of the day, and I still don't care once they sign that contract and go in the ring, but that's not the point. The point of it is that this still needs to be talked about, period, whether you agree with it or you don't. Because y'all can't say that Bill Haney can't come out here and say that he want Ryan Garcia banned for life, but he is perfectly okay with associating himself with a known cheater. A known cheater. The guy that was shaving points in the NBA, he can never be a referee again nowhere. No matter if he is vindicated or whatever the situation was, he served his time. Because I hear a lot of people saying, well, Dean, Victor Conte served his time. That means absolutely nothing because you could rob a bank and serve your time. You will never be a bank teller. You can mess with little kids and serve your time. You can never work at a daycare or live anywhere near a school. You could sit up there and serve your time for being let's say a drug dealer, but you could never sit up there and be a pharmacist and work at CVS or a hospital. It just don't work like that, my guys, for reasons. We don't do that with nothing else in this country. Nothing else in this country we do that with. But we gonna do this in a sport where people can lose their life, and then y'all get mad at manager Marty that he has brought attention and all of these things to that. To me, it sounds like you being a hypocrite. It's okay for it to be Devin. Alicia Bumgarner got her due process, got hair testing, and got off. Ryan Garcia does what we asked him to do, try to prove his innocence. Because his test came back positive, he go get hair testing, and Victor Conte sit up there and say it doesn't mean anything. But he wasn't saying that when it came to Canelo Alvarez doing the same thing, even though Canelo Alvarez got suspended. He was going against Canelo Alvarez getting suspended, saying that hair testing is more stringent to know if you was doing PEDs. Anybody who's had a job or has a corporate job, everybody knows that that is the truth. The better job you get, they stop doing P tests and they go ahead and start doing hair tests because hair tests cost more than P tests. That is a fact, y'all, for companies especially things like boxing commissions and things like that. Y'all owe manager Marty an apology. Philly in the building because now the same thing y'all try to demean that man for is the number one talked about topic. He is the one that got people from VADA and Victor Conte and all of them on his channel. So it's not wrong for anybody to look at Victor Conte suspicious when Victor Conte knows all the ins and outs of the testing and the products. And he has personal good relationships with the people who is supposed that we are supposed to trust to have an even playing field when it comes to this boxing. He helped start the companies that's supposed to do the testing for boxers. We wouldn't let no end is allowed to sell products knowing how to circumvent the test. You can't get mad at anybody for bringing light to that, or saying that that is suspicious, or saying that that shouldn't be allowed, or questioning it. Victor Conte is not allowed in any other sport but boxing for the reason because of what I told y'all about the bank robbers. You can never be a bank teller again. It doesn't matter that you served your time. You can have redemption, but just in another avenue of your life. He could have still made snack products and not been associated directly with boxing. He could have put it in GNC or whatever like anybody else does. Not saying it would have been right or wrong. I'm just saying that we can't let somebody that is directly involved, directly help start it, his words, not mine, directly help start VADA, that sends it to WADA. All of these people, that is a conflict of interest right there. So you want me to believe that fighters that are associated with Victor Conte, that Victor Conte don't get a heads up a couple days before, knowing that them people was coming? So you want me to think that he ain't got nobody in VADA and in WADA to give him heads up about what's going on when he helped start the company and is still directly associated with it till this day? Y'all owe Manager Marty an apology, man. And that's all I can say, man. You're not being real. Bill Haney can't associate himself with a known cheater, but say another known cheater needs to be banned for life, but Victor Conte is perfectly fine. Bill Haney and devinhaney fans can't sit up there and say that the hair testing means nothing when devinhaney directly associates himself with Alicia Bumgarner. She is in their camp. He's not saying that for her. She got vindicated off of hair testing, but Ryan does not deserve that same due process. Shout out to my man Just Do Boxing, because I got to give Manager Marty his just due. Y'all tried to shadow ban that man channel. I know that for a fact because I wasn't getting notifications, and I know I'm subscribed. Why that man kept getting limited dollar signs on when he tried to monetize his YouTube channel? Why did that start happening? So you want me to believe that people that have direct good relationships with the people we are supposed to entrust, that's not a conflict of interest? They would never let your mom, brother, sister, cousin be a part of a jury when a state is trying to convict you. Why? Because they could be objective, they could have good judgment, but they can't even take that risk. And Manager Marty, and my whole point is, why is we okay with even letting boxing take that risk? Ryangarcia is the only fighter that y'all said y'all want out of the sport of boxing, period, banned. He's not the first fighter to get caught with a banned substance. All of the other fighters are still fighting. Conor Ben was just fighting. Conor Ben was just fighting. Then Oscar Valdez fight Shakur Stevenson. Never mind. Don't answer that question because we already know the answer. Y'all owe Manager Marty an apology. And I appreciate that man for the education he has given me as far as as far as the sport of boxing and the ins and outs. It's no way that you want to associate yourself with a known cheater, but then say somebody else that's associate themselves or is a known cheater don't deserve to be anywhere near the sport of boxing. But everybody is perfectly okay with devinhaney and Terrence Crawford doing it because they are the two most known fighters that are associated with that company. You want me to believe a guy who helped start VADA is not going to get the heads up on what they testing for, how they testing for it, when they going to test for it. I could believe that, But unfortunately, everybody else I know that plays a major factor in any business or anything that goes on in life, even if it's their friend's business, your friend's gonna know about a party you're throwing before other people will, before you put a flyer up about it. I'm just saying, y'all. Victor Conte, if Victor Conte do not deserve to be nowhere near the sport. And whether you agree or you don't agree, at the end of the day, you can't be mad at manager Marty for shining light on it. If you want Ryan banned, then you need to apologize to manager Marty, because manager Marty whole preference is that fighters that are doing this need to not be in the sport of boxing. So then you agree with him. Then you need to go give that man an apology. If you are okay with Victor Conte being associated with VADA, WADA, and all of that, and having the snack program after being a known cheater, after almost destroying the sport of baseball, then you still owe manager Marty an apology, because that would mean that when he's fighting against this, you are okay with it. You are okay with a known cheater being near the sport of boxing. Manager Marty's not okay with that. I'm not okay with that. Either side of the pendulum that you are on, you owe manager Marty an apology. I'm sorry. Whether you think Victor Conte should be a part of the sport of boxing, because then that mean that you don't care that much about known cheaters being in the sport of boxing. So you can't be out here criticizing Ryangarcia. And if you was criticizing him before about him constantly making this, but then you do want people out the sport of boxing, well, that was his whole point from the beginning. Y'all tried to demean that man. Y'all tried to crucify that man. Y'all tried to shadow ban that man. Y'all tried to disrespect that man on other people's platform. Y'all was in that man's comments just for everything he's talking about to be the #1 topic in the sport of boxing. I'm going to give you your flowers, big dog, while you're here, in private and in public, and it's because it's deserved. That's why I'm making this video. Not because he's from Philly, not because I like the guy, but because when I see a man getting attacked and I see a man getting discredited, and then y'all go behind Gervonta Davis, Pitbull Cruz, same situation. It's okay for Devinhaney to fight Pitbull Cruz now. I have a problem with that. Then you owe Gervonta Davis an apology if it's okay for Devinhaney to fight Pitbull Cruz. Then you owe manager Marty an apology then if you're talking about PEDs and snack and Victor Conte and all of that, but told that man that he was crazy for even shining a light on it. Y'all already know what this is, right? Game by any means. And I holla at y'all.